Sorry about that, guys. Got cut off there. As I was mentioning, instead of playing the ball in the air, now imagine this pass going to our weak side 10. And this is important because now, if we play the ball to the weak side 10, now our 9 can advance, our 10 can advance, and the winger can advance. Hence, weak side 10 in gap 3. Now we continue to advance, no problem. And eventually we'll get to this, but once we pull a defender out of position, we want to be able to attack the space. So this is not a bad idea. It's just got to be a little bit cleaner. We win the ball. Strong side. Two things. It's okay to play on the strong side, but there has to be a few details that we have to keep in mind. So number one, we did create space. And if we do create the space, it's okay for the ball to travel to this space, as you can see in the yellow. That means that somebody has to attack that space. But I don't think it's possible for anybody to arrive to the space at the right time. Because of that, the ball needs to travel to the opposite side here. Very different. So, but if somebody can arrive here at the right time and Gio can play the ball there, no problem. I don't mind that at all. But that means the weak side player has more space to cover. The 10 needs to advance. But the key is you created this space. Somebody needs to arrive at the right time. If not, switch the point of attack. Another example here. 1, 2, 3, 4 against 5. Tight. The ball needs to travel to the opposite side. Why? We attracted pressure. Now, right away, Connor moving the ball to this side. Now, in this picture here, both 6s were caught on the same side. We don't mind that for us, but that just means that our 10 needs to adjust so he could drop in instead. If that doesn't happen, then it's okay for a center back to advance a little bit more so we can play the ball across and we get out of pressure. Now we have time and space. Now we have to think about the next line in gap 3. So if you think about this, both center mids are attracting pressure here, 2v2. Our back 3 is essentially there. Now, when everybody's marked, we can look to the next line. So in this moment here, Robbie, move a little bit more to create a clearer passing lane so that we can play you the ball there. I think the referee gets in the way in this picture. But again, if you can put yourself in the line of sight of the ball carrier, somewhere there, and if possible higher, so you can eliminate this player. And now we broke the second line of pressure one more time. Good touches. Now we're able to advance. Now it's hard to look here, but we did move this player out of position. But again, no one is running into it. So because of that, that is their cue to switch the ball. If we can play the weak side 10, no problem. That means it's possible that he steps. And if that happens, then we can go outside. Robbie can also make a run here, and then our outside back attacks. But neither is happening. So again, we look for the switch to shrink them. It's a good touch here. Now, when we get to the ball to central areas, we talked about what the opponent will do. Naturally, they will shrink. So if they shrink, that means that gap 4, the space behind the outside back, will be open. So the ball needs to travel there. Another example from the back. We talked about passing. It gives us time to create our offensive shape. We talked about shrinking the opponent so that we can go outside. Completing the switch. And now we're there. So now in this clip, this was actually one of the longest attacks we've had all year. Again, details that we need to focus on. The shape of the back 3 has to improve. So 1 here, that's Diego. This is Luis, and this is Shant. So the definition of the back three has to improve a little bit more. Again, neck, middle, neck. The second thing is both center mids being able to be close to each other so that we can attract pressure and be able to move the ball to the opposite side. Now I like this pass because it does break a lot of lines. And now two things need to happen. This picture here is clear by bringing the 7 inside to shrink the opponent, to overload the middle. Look where most of the players are. So now that is our cue to attack the outside, which is this space. So to put it into context, we overload the middle to attack the outside. If the opponent closes the outside, that's probably because the middle will be open. Now we have found an advantage. Two things here, Max, in this moment here, you have space in front of you. So attack the space as quickly as possible to advance. In this moment, a few things need to happen from the 10s. Run in behind, run in behind. Two things will happen. They will be open to get behind, or they will be marked. If they're marked, it's probably going to be by the players closest to them, which are midfielders. That means that after that, the center mids will be open. They track. In this picture here, I would like to see you guys attacking this space a little bit more. Robbie, in this moment, you can stay and occupy this area, because now we can switch the ball through the 6s. So 10 here, 10 here. Not a bad look, but we are not occupying the opposite gap 3, which is here. Why do we need to occupy the space? Because now if somebody's here, if dart 10 is here, so Robbie, put yourself here in this yellow area. Now we can create 2v1s on the opposite side. So the ball should be with a center mid in this moment, not a 10. I don't mind the switch as long as we complete it. But again, now back 3. The base is okay. We ideally would like to have 3 and 2. So it should look a little bit like this. So the 3 are here. So this would be center back, center back, center back, left back. And then in the base, both 6s, one here and the other one there. So Sawyer, Robbie, Sawyer, Connor, Sawyer, Chris, you guys need to be in this areas here. And now the 10s have to occupy gap 3, which is here, both of them. This allows us to complete more switches and be able to sustain longer attacks. Okay, then here, you have to be able to face forward. Let's go back here. Pull away from pressure. Somewhere around the arrow so that you can see the goal. This has got to be simpler. Move your feet, receive with the back foot, turn. Now we go outside. In this moment, type in the comment box, what do we need to add? And if you're thinking runs in behind, you are correct. Robbie running in behind, fade away, pocket, or running in behind. Now, between both center mids here, maybe Kaden, you can get higher, Sawyer lower, or the other way around. But the ball needs to travel in this path through the center mids. Here, here, gap 3, and then in behind. This is not bad. I don't mind this. But again, looking for the center mids right away. Turn. Again, Sawyer, Kaden, same thing. Your first touch is gotta be here. Now Haziel higher here in the pocket, and then winger on the last line. That way we can create a 2v1. When we don't face the field correctly, it slows us down, and it might not put us in a bad situation, but the player you pass it to. Switch again, 6 to 6. I like this look. Good. One more pass. And now we have to be able to avoid the turnover. Two ways. Number one, Max, move a little bit here. Because if in your position or now, you're essentially almost in the same line, which is easier to mark. But if you move a little bit, now the defender has to move in this angle and now create spacing behind. Because we're in good spots offensively, we're able to regain possession of the ball. And again, what do we want to see here? 3-2. A little bit more physical element here. A little bit more running to support the center backs. 3-2. So if the ball's with Diego here, it looks like this. If the ball travels to Sean or the left back, central there. And again, Haziel, our 10 should not be here in this picture. They should be much higher. Gap 3. Again, it's a good sequence. It's a good attack. However, the details will help us be able to be in better spots so that we can advance the ball to the correct areas, so that we can shrink the opponent. And when the ball goes outside, we have actually space to attack. Here, the space is not correct because even though we do occupy the outside, they're still covering the last line. So that's why that's why Robbie here and Haziel or the 10s need to be in gap 3. Eventually we'll start talking about penetration, which means how do we score? How do we create the final part of scoring? So the detail will be simple. Instead of crossing from where Max crossed, we want to be able to cross from the neck, which be somewhere here, and then from there we attack the back post. This is difficult to do, but at the same time it's very difficult to defend. So if we can create looks, get the ball in the neck to cross to the back post, be very difficult to defend. I'll show you some examples of that in a second. Another detail here, we get the ball to sink to central areas, the opponent will shrink. So naturally, again, attack outside. The game took Connor to build the 3 of the base in between the center backs. I don't mind that. Sometimes the game takes us to certain things. Good reading here, but again, ideally center back, outside back. This is a good look. I think we might have scored from this. Yeah, that's Ivan scoring. Great goal. One detail here. We trained this yesterday. If at any time there's time and space, we need to show that we can get behind. And one of the reasons why we actually get behind them is because there's a connection via communication between these 3 players. Time and space is looking to run in behind. The defender is not defending the area correctly. And then we can play the ball behind there. No problem. Last part here. Our 10, our winger is running in behind. Now this is a scoring opportunity. So in this moment, Robbie in the box. That's a 10. Haziel 10 in the box. Max back post. We need to finish these attacks with numbers. Now I want to show you some examples of, I know you guys asked me, is there something else I can look at that could be familiar? So we did this with the national team a couple months ago. Example of the base, 3-2. The more you pass, the more time you have to create your offensive shape. For us, 3-2 with 2 10s, 2 wide players, and a 9. But again, in this example, the picture is similar. Center back, outside back, center back, and the base with 2. This creates a situation, a specific situation. We attract pressure, and then the idea is that wherever pressure comes from, there's space that is created. And in this picture, by creating the 3-2 base, it attracted 2 players here towards the ball, 3 players here towards the back line, and create space in gap 3. As you will see, the ball will eventually get there. And now you're looking into position where you can get behind. Here's another example. This is against Chile. It's higher up. We can't continue to advance or create a scoring opportunity. We attract pressure to one side to attack the other side. And then in doing so, we create our shape with the base of 3-2 for the purpose of attracting pressure towards the middle to attack outside. Now, once all of that is set, that we can able to create, we're able to connect build-up to penetration. Penetration, creating a scoring opportunity. Crosses, shots, through balls, yeah? So once that is set, it's very important that you understand attacking the opposite side. Regardless of the situation, this is against the United States. Ball's on one side, you attack the other side. And now, the detail that we're going to start introducing eventually is the ball's in the neck in this picture. And now, looking to start attacking the back post, as you can see here. Another example here, you create your base, the ball's in the neck, attack the back post. The ball will probably be in the air, that's okay. But again, run in behind, crosses in behind. This is with the U20s during World Cup qualifiers. Now the ball's outside, we can still attack the back post. Again, if you notice in these moments, the defenders are looking at the ball. So it's very difficult to track the runners. Nice goal. All right, guys, please type in comments, questions in the comment section, and then we'll discuss later on. All the best. Bye.